Imagine Schools, we believe that one of the first steps to character education and development is creating a culture within your classroom. We begin by talking about how to motivate students. Some students seem naturally enthusiastic about learning, but many need or expect their instructors to inspire, challenge, and stimulate them. Many factors affect a given student's motivation to work and to learn: interest in the subject matter, perception of its usefulness, general desire to achieve, self-confidence and self-esteem, as well as patience and persistence. Not all students are motivated by the same values, needs, desires, or wants. Understanding the 6 variables of motivation is the beginning. We call this TRICS: tone, reward, interest, concern, knowledge, and success. Tone creates an environment that is open, positive, and full of energy. It provides an attractive, enriched environment. Rewards must be given frequently, early, with positive feedback that supports students' beliefs that they can do well. Praise, prompt, and leave. Spark interest in your lesson and help students find personal meaning and value in the material. Make learning intrinsically interesting to students by relating the lesson content to their lives. Be sure to vary the presentations. Use a variety of approaches to keep teaching from going stale. Build concern. Help students feel valued as members of a learning community. Make students active participants in their learning. Be approachable by personalizing the student and teacher relationship. Knowledge. Use materials at a level that challenges but can be understood. Teach to the individual students' learning styles and use appropriate, concrete, and understandable examples. And last, success. Hold high but realistic expectations for your students. Ensure opportunities for student success by assigning tasks that are neither too easy nor too difficult. Research shows that most students respond positively to a well-organized class taught by an enthusiastic instructor who has a genuine interest in students and what they learn. Let's discuss some activities from your Imagine Schools curriculum guide that could be used as tools for motivation. Help students set achievable goals for themselves. Help students evaluate their progress by encouraging them to critique their own work, analyze their strengths, and work on their weaknesses. Tell students how to be successful in your class. Reassure students that they can do well in your class and tell them exactly what they must do to succeed. Strengthen students' self-motivation. Avoid messages that reinforce your power as an instructor or that emphasizes extrinsic rewards. Avoid creating intense competition among students. Students are more attentive, display better comprehension, and produce more work when they work cooperatively in groups rather than compete as individuals. Refrain from public criticism or comments that pit students against each other. Be enthusiastic. An instructor's enthusiasm is a crucial factor in student motivation. If you become bored or apathetic, the students will too. Work from students' strengths and interests. Explain how the content of your lesson will help students achieve their educational, professional, or personal goals. Let students have some input into the unit of study. Give students options on projects or other assignments. Let students decide between 2 locations for a field trip or have them select which topics to explore in greater depth. Make assignments include easier and harder questions. Increase the difficulty of the material as the year progresses so that every student will experience success as well as challenge. Break the routine by incorporating a variety of teaching activities and methods into your classroom, such as role-playing, debates, brainstorming, discussions, case studies, guest speakers, and small group work. Stress the personal satisfaction of doing assignments and help students measure their progress. Assign ungraded assignments to provide a risk-free environment to learn from mistakes. Design tests that encourage the kind of learning you want your students to achieve. If you base your tests on memorizing details, students will focus on memorizing facts. If your tests stress the importance of synthesizing and evaluation of information, students will be motivated to practice those skills. Avoid using grades as threats. Students may resort to dishonesty, excuses for late work, and other counterproductive behaviors if grades are overemphasized. Give students feedback as quickly as possible. Return tests and papers promptly and reward success publicly and immediately. Reward success. Praise builds students' self-confidence, competence, and self-esteem. Recognize sincere efforts even if the product is less than perfect. Reward success. Praise builds students' self-confidence, competence, and self-esteem. Recognize sincere efforts even if the product is less than perfect. Introduce students to the good work done by their peers. Share the ideas, knowledge, and accomplishments of individual students with the class as a whole. Provide class time to students to read each other's papers or provide examples of papers that meet rubric requirements. Whenever you identify a student's weakness, make it clear that your comments relate to the particular task or performance and not to the student as a person. Be sensitive to how you phrase your comments and avoid offhand remarks that heighten a student's feeling of inadequacy. When you give struggling students the solution, you rob them of the chance to think for themselves. More productive approaches would be to ask the students for one possible approach to the problem, ask the students to build on what they already know about the problem, suggest to students a way to check the answers themselves, and praise the students for small, independent steps. Ask students non-threatening questions about their work. Pose general questions that do not create tension or defensiveness. Ask students what they felt they did well and where they need support. Now it's time to explore some other resources on how to create a culture of high expectations for your students to learn. Let's take a look.